Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers, if you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now, on with the show.
Hey, Primatech peeps. Welcome back to the Primatech Files, a Southgate Media Group podcast dedicated to all things hero related. I am Lilith, and on the hunt for specials with me, as always, is
Ricky. Yo.
Up for discussion today is episode 402, Ink.
What up? Ink. It's like a tattoo. But it's what all the cool kids say for tattoo. So yeah.
I'm not a cool kid then. I just say tat. But anyway, yeah, let's just jump right into it, get into the recap with some technical specs. This episode first aired on September 28th, 2009. It is written by Aaron Eli Collette, and it is directed by Roxanne with no E. Dawson.
I will go into the synopsis. Samuel attempts to manipulate Peter into filling his brother's position at the carnival. Whilst facing the consequences of this, Peter meets a reluctant new hero. Claire tries to adjust to college life and the revelation of her ability. Sila uses Matt's ability against him in a bid to return him to his body. I just want my body. So yeah.
Ugh. People, places, and things we need to know about. Emma Coolidge, Enhanced Synthesia, Dr. Coolidge, Long Beach, California, and the Sullivan's childhood home. Emma is this season's Daphne, who was that season's Maya, who was that season's Nikki, and Flash Sanderson.
So we might as well just start off with Emma, because I know how much you love her. So yeah, I quite like her as a character. I just can't deal with her hair and eyebrow combination, but yeah, that's just me.
You really like her as a character, really?
Yeah, I think, for what she is, she's a better version of Luke.
Daphne.
She's a better version of Luke, because Luke was there to kind of be the sounding board for Sila, and in this one, Emma is the sounding board for Peter, but she also reminds us of that kind of season 1 aspect of the show where someone new is coming into their powers, whereas in season 1 everyone kind of had someone to go to talk to about their powers. She doesn't, even though her powers don't seem like they're real abilities, because they're more real world. I like that aspect of bringing it back to season 1. And she's a different kind of character. She's deaf, and her deafness is kind of introduced in a very subtle fashion. But, once you go back on it, you can kind of see that all the signs are there. She slots nicely into Peter's story. And, they're both kind of the same character. They're these two people who they live very lonely lives, and they're both very cut off from the world. And they kind of need each other to kind of push them back out of this kind of funk that they're in.
Lamest power ever since Nikki is all that I'm saying.
I don't know. I like there's a main power, but then there's like little sub-categories of powers, which I quite like. It's like Magneto's got the powers to kind of manipulate metal, but then he kind of can use it to fly, and he can also use it to knock people out by stopping the flow of iron to their brain. I like these kind of little tweaks to the powers that they give. So yeah.
It's visually nice, but everything else outside of her power, just lame. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Anyway, I don't know. I did like that they introduced a deaf character, and especially that they have a actual deaf actress playing a deaf character. That's always nice.
Yes. So we should move on to Parkman.
Oh my god! Siler put the whammy on him, son. This was hilarious.
This is the one where he goes into the house, right?
Here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Matt and his partner Mike, and they're watching the suspect's house while waiting for the warrant.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Alcoholics, they're at an AA meeting or an NA meeting or whatever kind of meeting there are. The word at the end of that is anonymous. how can you kind of have your partner that you go with day to day as your kind of, how can you, that kind of defeats the point of it being anonymous, right? Or is that just me?
Well, it's like in Hollywood, though. It's like when they have like the celebrity recovery, everybody knows each other there.
I suppose. Anyway, so yeah, they're waiting for a warrant to kind of arrest this dude, right?
So like they finally get it, and then they break the...
Yeah, they're just looking for the drugs, and the whole while Siler is there. And I like his little explanation of, I'm kind of bored of torturing you now. It's not going to make for like a good life, so I might as well try and help you. And, I like the kind of realization that he's turning Matt's power against him. And I think a big kind of callback to like season 1 is the fact that, he introduces like a child under the stairs, and that's very reminiscent of Molly. And I think, that's a big key into him like having his breaking point, and that's when, he just goes to town on this guy and beats the crap out of him. So yeah, I like that kind of the realization of like what happened, and Siler's there just like smirking the whole time, like, you're gonna have to give me my body back soon, otherwise, this is gonna be what it is for the rest of your life. It's not gonna be just like me making you sleepwalk and see me.
I mean, but here's the thing. If Matt was a real, true boss, he would have just killed himself.
Yeah.
No more Siler to haunt the world.
Definitely, yes. But he's not.
Or lock himself in prison like he was trying to do eventually. I'm just saying.
Fair enough.
That would have been a better, like, kind of resolution for me than what actually ended up happening.
Definitely. So, shall we move on?
Claire and Noah and Gretchen?
Yeah, why not? Because it wouldn't be a family lunch without it being like really awkward. And that's what we've got. We've got Claire and Gretchen. Claire's just been avoiding Gretchen because she saw her use her powers, and they go to lunch with HRG. It's really weird having to call him HRG all the time. Like, everyone knows his name's Noah, but it's just so ingrained in me. But yeah, awkward lunch.
Yeah. And then, like, Gretchen comes out and says that she used to be bulimic, and I'm like...
Yeah.
Okay, doesn't really explain it, but okay.
It's just in passing as well, which kind of... I don't know if I like or not, because, they didn't go into it, but, maybe it's just one of those things where, everyone's so... It's happened so much in kind of TV that they kind of are fine with just having it being, like, a trait of someone. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do like kind of Claire's explanation of, don't call the Haitian, because obviously HRG finds out. He's not dumb, and he finds out that Gretchen knows, and he's like, okay, I'm on the phone to the Haitian, he's coming down, and Claire's just like, no, you can't take her memories away because, probably because of what it's done to, like, Sandra in the past. But also, she has to deal with her own mistakes, and she's going to need people in her life who know her secret. Otherwise, she's going to lead that kind of lonely life that Peter's leading at the moment. And it's very mature of Claire. And yeah.
And I love how, I do like the scene of when she explains her powers. Like, she's like, I can't get drunk and I can heal. And she lets her cut her with the pair of scissors.
Yeah, and then she freaks out about it. I like that. At this point, you're still wondering, is Gretchen going to betray her at some point? Because I think that's what we talked about in the last episode, how Claire has never really had a friend, and anytime she has, they've kind of let her down. So that's what you're always thinking in the back of your mind because, it's Claire.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Samuel. Samuel decided since he was in town, he would go to his childhood home. His mom and dad were like the maid and the butler, and it's kind of hinted that he was in love with the girl that was, the daughter of the family.
Yep.
And just wanted to come in, and there's these super rich, fancy people, and they're like, LOL, no, you cannot come in.
But I'm sorry,
it's sad and think the house.
But it's a fair enough thing. Who knows what would have happened if there was no party? But to be fair, I probably wouldn't have let him in because he looks really creepy.
He looks like a ne'er-do-well.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
You know who he looks like? He looks like Teabag from Prison Break. I wouldn't let Teabag from Prison Break in my house.
Yeah, I wouldn't let Teabag from Prison Break in my house.
And I like the little, I don't know if it's an Easter egg or if anything, but I like the kind of him putting on a tie and not really being able to do it because it just reminds me of one hand Teabag trying to put on a tie. So yeah.
The one good suit is not that good.
But, at the end of the day, you kind of with Samuel, you don't know what his motivations are at this moment in time. All you know is that he kind of wants to, quote unquote, replace his family or bring new people into his family, and you don't know like what kind of thing he's going to be. Is he going to be a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he that morally grey kind of Noah character? But at the end of the day, you see him like destroy this, like create this sinkhole, and you know straight away, oh, we've got a bad guy on our hands. So yeah.
What? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it was like some kind of weird classes statement, the upstairs downstairs thing, where, you know, if you're a downstairs kind of person, you can almost root for Samuel. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But no, like, this was like the creepiest ending of a Heroes episode, and since we found out what happened to Peter in the Haitian in the crate.
Oh yeah.
Like, Peter and Hassan show up, like, and they're like seeing all these bodies being taken out on stretchers, and like Samuel's watching from the shadows, and then Peter sees it, and then he concentrates, and the tattoo of a compass appears on Peter's arm, and then Peter watches as Samuel smiles. That whole exchange was so weird and creepy and dark.
But let's bring on to the main reason why Samuel is there. He's there because he's trying to see if Peter is worthy of taking his brother's place, because, you know, he's trying to replace people. So obviously we know he's trying to replace Hero into Arnold's role. Yeah. And so we can naturally probably assume that he's trying to bring Peter into that kind of Joseph role. So yeah. And the way he does it is he basically serves. It's really weird to hear the words "you got served," because we don't have that in England, and the only thing that I know about "you got served" is the dance thing. So yeah.
Oh, you guys don't have that?
No.
I thought that's where we got it from.
I have no idea what it is. It's just because we're not a very litigious land, I suppose.
Okay.
Whereas, you know, America is the land of litigians, or whatever the word would be. I've said it wrong, but anyway.
But no, he also passed Emma too. Remember, he's walking past her, she's eating like dinner on the bench or whatever, and that's where she sees the celloist, and they're playing, and she sees all the energy, and then she like touches it, and I was like, dude, I would beat the mess out of somebody if they touched it. Like, I would never just leave my cello laying around. I know it's heavy, but God.
Well, to be fair, the guy wasn't playing very well.
He just gave up. That's what.
But the episode starts off with like Samuel playing this kind of character who was there at a bus accident or something like that, and it brings up the kind of glory hounding that it seems Peter is doing, and it kind of makes sense in the way that, is it Hashim or whatever his partner's name is? You know, he's kind of...
Yeah, I kind of agree. You might be that guy.
Yeah, because, you know, you don't go out with us. As soon as you finish shift, you go on to something else. You're always the first person on the scene. This makes sense that you kind of are creating these kind of things, and Samuel is there to kind of, like, because he knows Peter will go to this guy, and when he does, you know, he goes to him, he tells him, he explains his story, and, you know, he tampers with Peter's press cutting to prove that he was there, just to see how he would act. And obviously Peter's a stand-up guy, and so, you know, he goes to Samuel, admits what happened, and he apologizes, and, you know, it's just a test, really, at the end of the day, to see if he's worthy of taking Joseph's place. And yeah, and then that's when he shakes his hand, and you get the straight. You see something weird's going to happen, and that's when, you know, the tattoo shows up from. But yeah, I like Samuel throughout the whole episode because, you know, he's very subtle, he's very natural, and you never really know what his true intentions are.
Robert Knepper he knocks it out of the park. Even when I don't really necessarily like the character, he always brings something very into the role. So, I thought it was a good look to have him review stuff.
Yes. So,
favorite
character, I'm going to go with Samuel, because he's just awesome in this episode. I like, you know, the way that he's able to manipulate Peter. Not that it's a difficult thing to do, because he's kind of a doo-doo head, but yeah, I really like him throughout the episode.
I couldn't agree more.
Who would you go for with character interactions?
I want to go with Claire in HRG when he goes, all right, I know she knows. All right, we're calling the Haitian. She's like, no, Dad, no. And then that he actually listens to her.
Yeah.
Is what makes this character interaction really special.
I'm going to go with Sila and Matt because of just the intensity of the whole situation. And you actually think that Sila might be trying to help out. And then at the end of it, when it's revealed and he's just like sitting there, like twisting his evil mustache, it's great. So yeah. What would you do for your favorite scene?
When Samuel sinks the house out of just pure raw anger. It's just great for me.
I think I'm going to go with Matt just beating the crap out of this guy after seeing Molly, or not Molly, under the stairs. I really like it. It's nice to see Parkman kind of, being a badass, even though he is being manipulated into being one. So yeah. What would you do for your favourite lines?
Oh, I know. For the sheer corniness, cheesiness of it. Siler says this to Matt. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
I'm going to go with not as easy to ignore as you thought. It's because I use charm.
You ooze something. It's definitely not charm. Smarmy name. What you ooze.
I'm going to also add into seeing Parkman using his powers again. And just, again, Siler in the background, like, twizzling his evil mustache. Because, it's like, yeah, I broke you, Matt. It wasn't that difficult. All it took me was, like, one real day of trying to put my mind to it. And, yeah, I broke you. Done.
Yeah, basically. So the grade?
I think I might go for a B/B minus. I thought it was a good episode because, you've got quite powerful things going on. You've got the manipulation of like the two main bad guys in Siler and Samuel on their prospective people. And I really like that kind of aspect about it. So how about you?
I'm going to go with the B+. And it's like where I actually started to say, oh, okay, these people are crossing paths. And this is where I was like, okay, Emma's not just a one and done kind of thing. We're actually going to explore her. And her power is really interesting because people seem mesmerized by the way that she's playing.
Yes, definitely.
And also seeing cross her path. So it's just like,
So I will go into trivia. And trivia is the song the cellist is playing. It's the same song heard in many Sprint commercials. So yeah, I'm sure we will discuss that in a later episode. The symbol is basically making a comeback, and it's seen in Claire's dorm room, only it's reversed. So yes.
Blah, blah, blah.
Definitely. I will move on to live tweeters. The following people were tweeting, retweeting, or faving during the live tweets. We have Bob Shifu, soft_guitar60, English Idiot 101, and Cinzia667. As per usual, thank you very much.
Looks like it's time for some shameless plugs and self-promotion. We'll start with the show contact info. We here at Primatech Files love listener feedback. If you would like to get a hold of us, we have a ton of ways. You can email us via primatechfiles@gmail.com. You can leave us a private message or interact with our posts over on facebook.com/primatechfiles. We live tweet 2 episodes per week every Saturday starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For more information, be sure to follow us on Twitter at PrimatechFiles. You can also find us on Clamor, Tumblr, and YouTube by simply searching for Primatech Files. If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes. What's that? You don't have an iTunes account? That's okay. We're on a lot of podcatcher services such as Stitcher and SoundCloud. All you have to do is search for, you guessed it, Primatech Files. We're also on Libsyn. And if you want to follow our RSS feed there, all you have to do is go to primatechfiles.libsyn.com and bookmark the site to stay up to date with this podcast. Libsyn is spelled Libsyn, just in case you were wondering. We look forward to interacting with you.
If you love our podcast, be sure to check out Southgate Media Group's iTunes provider page to see a list of what other podcasts are hot and trending in our network. Or you can take that one step further and visit southgatemediagroup.com, where you can find a full list of our 80-plus podcasts, along with weekly blogs and information about all the hosts. With so many podcasts that cover everything from anime to wrestling, there's sure to be tons of podcasts that could interest you.
Hey guys, you should know by now that you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. If you have a Tumblr, be sure to check out it's lilithhellfire.tumblr.com. And of course, be sure to swing by my blog if you are a pop culture junkie or comic book geek at littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com. I also host several other podcasts on the Southgate Media Group network. Some of them are The Flashpoint, Queen Consolidated, and Channel 52. So if you are into, obviously, DC comic book related stuff, be sure to check it out.
You can find my writings at tvbinges.com. It's a place for all your binge watching needs, and you can also create your own TV binge and we'll help promote it. We do a monthly binge watch, which you're more than welcome to join in. Just go to their Twitter at tvbinges. just to find out more information. You can find me on Twitter at RickyJDiaz. That's RICKYJDIAZ, or Z if you're American.
All right, time to wrap it up. We want to thank you for joining us on this discussion, episode 402 Inc. We had fun discussing it. Hope you had fun listening to it. Just want to remind you guys to follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook. And please don't be afraid to send in emails and interact with those Facebook posts. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share those bad boys.
Download the podcast, Save the World.